Welcome to the Deep Dive, your essential shortcut to understanding the complex forces reshaping the world. Or, in today's case, the automotive industry.
Indeed.
We're tearing into the technical specs of the 2026 Polestar 3. And believe me, this is way more than just, a fresh coat of paint.
That's really the crucial context here. Our sources are pointing to what they call a massive technological leap for this electric compact luxury SUV.
Right.
We're not looking at your standard mid-cycle refresh, minor software updates here and there.
Yeah.
We're talking fundamental changes, big shifts in the car's architecture. It impacts everything from, say, how fast it charges to, well, how much power it actually delivers.
Okay, so let's unpack all that. We need to simplify some of this engineering jargon for you listening.
Absolutely.
Our mission today, cut through the noise, focus on two really seismic shifts. First up, a total overhaul of the electrical system. We're talking bleeding-edge EV tech here. And second, a complete restructuring of the powertrain. That means substantially more muscle pretty much across the board. The goal is just clarity, understanding why these changes matter when you're behind the wheel.
And these two things, the power architecture and the motor setup, they're completely linked.
Yeah.
Polestar is essentially future-proofing the car for the next wave of fast charging,
Okay.
while also dialing up the performance. They're aiming squarely at those high-end European rivals.
So let's jump right into the foundation then. The 800-volt revolution, the 2026 Polestar 3, is built on this thing called the SPA2 platform.
Right, the SPA2.
For listeners just tuning in, what is that SPA2 platform, and why is switching this whole car from 400 volts to 800 volts? Why is that the single most important detail we found?
Okay, so SPA2 is Polestar's specialized architecture. It's designed specifically for their larger electric vehicles. And that switch, that jump to 800 volts, that's the key. It unlocks, well, true next-gen EV performance.
And what does that mean for you, the driver?
It means less time waiting,
Yeah.
significantly less time stuck at a charger.
We hear 800 volts thrown around a lot, but, most drivers just see a kilowatt number on the station screen. How does doubling the voltage actually save time?
It's basic physics, really, but it's critical. Power equals current times voltage, pi equals I times V, right?
Right.
So by doubling the voltage from 400 to 800 volts, you can deliver the same amount of power to the battery, but using only half the current.
Ah, okay. Less current.
Exactly. And lower current means much less heat buildup in the battery cells themselves, and crucially, also in the charging cables and the connectors.
Less heat, so less energy wasted as heat, less resistance, meaning you can push more energy through faster without risking, melting things.
Precisely. That thermal advantage, that efficiency gain, it's what enables the much faster DC charging rate we're seeing. The sources mention a peak rate up to 350 kilowatts.
350 kilowatts, that's really up there, top tier stuff.
It is. That's blistering speed, really reserved for only the most advanced EVs out there today.
And if we translate that peak number into, real-world time, what drivers actually care about, the sources estimate that standard 10% to 80% charge benchmark, now just 22 minutes. That's a huge, tangible improvement.
Yes, and Polestar specifically claims this is more than 25% faster than before.
Wow.
Think about a road trip, maybe 3-4 charging stops, cutting 25% off each stop.
Yeah.
That adds up. It really minimizes travel fatigue, makes the whole journey more efficient.
And beyond just the sheer speed, there are other benefits too, right? We saw details about efficiency improvements, something like up to 6% based on the WLTP cycle.
Correct. And just for clarity, WLTP is the Worldwide Harmonized Light Vehicles Test Procedure. It's that European standard you often see cited for initial range estimates. The US EPA figures usually come later.
Got it.
So yeah, that efficiency boost is partly the better electrical system, but it's also partly new battery tech. Polestar has switched suppliers for the 2026 models. They're using packs from CATL now, a huge name in the battery industry.
And there are two sizes mentioned.
That's right. A 92 kilowatt pack for this standard rear motor version, and then a larger 106 kilowatt pack for the dual motor and the performance variants.
Okay.
And those bigger packs contribute to Polestar's estimated maximum range up to 315 miles, which is competitive, definitely.
Yeah.
But what's really fascinating is how these architectural changes, the 800V system, the new batteries, how they enable the other big story here, the massive power upgrade.
Right. So we've covered saving time at the charger. Now let's talk saving time, well, accelerating. This is where it gets really interesting.
It does.
This huge power boost comes mainly from a new rear electric motor developed in-house by Polestar, right? And it's central to all three new trim names: rear motor, dual motor, and performance.
Exactly. And the power restructuring is quite dramatic. Now, the new motor brings impressive horsepower gains, absolutely. But it's worth noting, Polestar has retuned things slightly.
Oh.
So there's actually a slight reduction in peak torque for the dual motor versions compared to the 2025 models. It's a nuance we should probably dig into.
Okay, let's lay out the numbers first, then we can analyze that trade-off.
Sure. Starting with the baseline, the rear motor version gets a healthy bump up to 329 horsepower. That's up from 295 before.
Okay.
Torque, however, drops just a tiny bit, from 361 pound-feet down to 354. So clear gain in horsepower there.
Right. Then moving up to the all-wheel drive dual motor model.
Here, the horsepower jumps significantly, up to 536 HP from 483. That's a big increase.
Yeah.
The torque reduction is a bit more noticeable here, though. It drops from the previous 620 pound-feet down to 546.
Okay, 546. And finally, the one everyone's talking about, the performance model.
Yes, the performance. This sees the most, well, shocking leap in power. It climbs to a staggering 671 horsepower.
Wow, from 510.
From 510, yeah, a huge gain. But interestingly, even here, the torque settles slightly lower than before. It's 642 pound-feet, down from the old peak of 671.
Wait a minute. Okay, so if the dual motor and performance trims are giving up a bit of that initial kick, that torque, doesn't that mean the feel, like right off the line, might be less aggressive, even with more overall horsepower? Why make that choice if you're aiming for performance?
That is the critical question, isn't it? And it really shows the engineering trade-off. To simplify it for you listening, think of it like this. Torque is kind of like raw muscle. It gives you that immediate punch in the chest feeling right off the line, like a big, heavy truck pulling something heavy.
Okay, I get that.
Horsepower, on the other hand, is more like lung capacity. It lets you sustain speed, pull strongly at higher speeds, reach a higher top end. Think more like a Formula One car.
Ah, okay. So Polestar is clearly leaning more towards that sustained speed, high-end performance feel rather than just pure, like, stoplight drag race domination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They seem to be emphasizing sustained high-speed capability, and the numbers back that up. The sources estimate the performance version, with all that 671 horsepower, now hits 60 mph in just 3.8 seconds.
3.8 seconds.
Which really underlines that performance bias. It makes sense as they push further into that premium luxury sport segment.
671 horsepower and a compact SUV that charges from 10 to 80% in 22 minutes. That's just incredible engineering.
It really is.
You know, if you really value our professional partnership, I think you know what you need to do. And I'm feeling quite drawn to that new performance trim, just putting it out there.
Well, I imagine that 3.8-second time would certainly shave a few minutes off anyone's commute, regardless of professional sympathy levels. But beyond the raw power, the Polestar 3 also got a pretty significant brain upgrade.
Ah, yes. Let's talk about the intelligence side. The 2026 models get a new computer processor. Polestar claims it's 8 times more powerful than before. That's a lot of processing power. Must be for managing all the advanced driver aids, infotainment, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It points towards future capabilities too, maybe more advanced autonomous features, better navigation systems. And what's really consumer-friendly here, something the sources highlighted.
What's that?
Polestar intends to make this new, powerful hardware available as a retrofit for owners of the previous 2025 models.
Oh, really? That's actually huge. A big commitment to existing customers.
It is. It sends a strong signal about long-term support, especially on the software side.
Definitely. And we also saw some notes about handling adjustments. Revised anti-roll bars, retuned steering. Suggests they weren't just focused on straight-line speed.
Correct. They need to make sure the car can actually handle that massive power boost effectively and safely.
Oh, safely.
It needs to feel planted.
Makes sense.
And tying back to efficiency for a moment, there's another smart tweak for the all-wheel drive models. They can now automatically disconnect their front motors when that extra traction isn't needed.
To save energy.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Helps improve driving range during cruising or lighter load conditions. It's an intelligent use of the new motor setup power when you need it, efficiency when you don't.
Okay, this all sounds absolutely fantastic, like a game changer. But we have to bring things back down to earth a bit for listeners, especially in the U.S. There's a crucial caveat, isn't there?
There is, yes. What's fascinating, or perhaps frustrating depending on your perspective, is that all these amazing details, the 800V charging, the 671 horsepower, that sub-4-second sprint time.
Yeah.
Right now, these officially apply to the 2026 Polestar 3, being sold in other markets, not
Ah.
necessarily the U.S. spec yet.
Ah, okay. So this highlights that difference between a global reveal and what actually lands in specific regions like North America. We have the engineering data, but the official U.S. details still pending.
Exactly. And that's a pretty normal part of the rollout process for global automakers.
But why the delay? Why do U.S. specs often lag behind? Is it just paperwork?
It's mostly down to homologation. That's the process of certifying a vehicle for sale in a specific market, and also the differences in testing cycles.
Right. You mentioned WLTP versus EPA earlier.
Precisely. The range estimates we have now are likely based on the WLTP cycle, which tends to be a bit more, let's say, optimistic than the U.S. EPA testing protocol. The EPA's tests are generally seen as stricter, more rigorous.
So Polestar is probably finalizing the specific configuration for North America, getting all the regulatory approval sorted.
Exactly, and only then will they announce the official EPA range figures and, crucially, the finalized U.S. pricing.
Okay. So we know it's coming, we know what it can do globally, but we're just waiting for that official U.S. stamp of approval. For context, the 2025 model started around, what, $68,900 and went up to about $86,300 before options.
That's the range, yes.
Given this huge technological leap, especially the 800V system and the power boost, we should probably expect the 2026 version to sit firmly in that premium bracket, maybe even nudge slightly higher.
That seems very likely. This is clearly Polestar signaling they're serious about competing head-on with the performance heavyweights in the premium EV space.
Okay, so let's summarize the main takeaway for you listening today. The 2026 Polestar 3 isn't just a refresh. It's really a fundamental shift in EV architecture for the brand.
Definitely.
It successfully merges maybe the two most important things for modern EV buyers. Ultra-fast charging capability, thanks to that 800-volt system, right alongside raw, genuinely impressive performance, especially with that new 600-inch under 1 horsepower motor option. It's an efficiency play and a power play all rolled into one package.
And we try to connect this to the bigger picture, step back a bit.
Yeah.
It raises a really important question for the whole industry.
Which is?
Well, as this 800-volt architecture, enabling things like 350 kilowatt charging, becomes the expected standard, especially for luxury and performance EVs.
Yeah.
How quickly does the public charging infrastructure need to adapt, globally, to actually support these speeds reliably for the average driver?
Yeah. The cars might be ready, but are the stations?
Exactly. The cars are setting the pace, but the charging network has to catch up to make this advanced technology truly useful and accessible everywhere, not just in specific locations.
That is indeed the multi-billion-dollar question, and definitely something to think about as this next generation of high-performance EVs starts hitting the roads. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the source material on the 2026 Polestar 3.
Been a pleasure.
If you want a shortcut to staying informed on major shifts like this one, make sure you follow the channel right now. That way you won't miss any of our new deep dives and updates.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.